Hi everybody, welcome back to AHS Insider. I'm Tom. Today you're watching my special report with Madame Kundal students explaining why you should take French.
So one of the kids asked me what inspired me to take French all those years ago.
When I was in the 6th grader's shoes, I had no idea what I wanted to choose. But after talking with my family, I realized that I have a personal connection to French. My family is from Canada, and so I wanted to communicate with them.
And I have to say, it's because I became enamored of the sound, the richness, the quality, the beauty.
Did you know that all these international organizations have French as an official language? For example, the United Nations, European Union, UNESCO, NATO, the International Olympic Committee, and the International Red Cross.
And as I learned more, I became enamored with the culture and found the history and the art and the philosophy, some of which our own founding fathers based the Declaration of Independence on, to be just really inspiring and compelling. And I love it, and it turned me into who I am today.
Just to go over some of my favorite French memories from the past years, we enjoy Crepe Day and Cheese Day, which are 2 days which all you do is make and eat crepes and all you do is make and eat cheese. And we have a lot of fun in the classroom with Madame, and it's some of the best times of your high school career.
And I try to impart that to my students. I try to share with them the huge, richly diverse culture of France and all of the Francophone world. We do projects that speak to all of those different pieces of art and literature and history that the French and the Francophone world has brought to us in the United States.
Almost 50% of English words come from French, meaning that they look and sound the same.
So we try to dabble in all of those areas, and though our numbers might seem sort of smaller, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
French is great because it can help you learn other foreign languages. After taking French for 3 years, it inspired me to take Spanish as well, and learning Spanish was a lot easier because I had a basis on Romance languages, which came from French.
Because as a result of that, we become a really close-knit group. We work really closely together, and they have a lot of opportunity for one-on-one instruction, peer instruction, and it just gives us more time to even explore in more depth all of these things that I, as a kid, found inspiring and continue to find inspiring as an adult, sharing them with young people.
We want you to take French!
Thank you for watching my special report. Up next is Sean with Quote of the Show.
Thanks, Tom. Today on Quote of the Show, we have a new quote from Steve Irwin.
Yes, I agree with the message. I think the passion and the enthusiasm that certainly that instructor has in education is contagious, communicates that with the student, and can have an impact last even a lifetime.
To me, this quote is actually very true to me because I also believe that I feel like I learn better when I'm very interested in the topic. So excitement is a very big part of learning.
I believe that sometimes school is enthusiasm and everything, and it's good to actually be excited about school. I guess pushing towards enthusiasm in school will make people want to actually come to school instead of having everything be plain and boring. So I guess pushing that would be great.
My interpretation and reaction to Steve Irwin's quote about passion in education or excitement as a component to education, I think is right on the money. Steve Irwin embodied enthusiasm, I believe, in his life and his approach to his work. I believe with anything that you do lacking enthusiasm, that potential extra that can get you to the finish line. And I find it more interesting when people are excited, or when there's excitement involved in the situation, people are more interested, that's for sure. So having excitement in education is definitely an integral component to engage new minds to new concepts. And how do you get them over their fear of the unknown? Is by you make it exciting, you make it new, and you transfer that passion.
Hope you enjoyed. Up next is Jordan with Angler Advice.
Thanks, Sean. Today we're going to check out my new episode of Angler Advice.
What's up, anglers? It's that time again for spring fishing season. In spring, many fish, like bass, and most bait fish, like to spawn. To hook up a Mondo bass this season, try using stuff like spinner baits, jerk baits, crankbaits, and any other type of bait that imitates the color patterns of these fish. Fishing early in the spring in New England, I like to use a finesse style bait. Preferably, I like a Nico rig or a drop shot. Later in the spring, I like using topwater bait, like a frog, or even a buzz bait or double plopper. My personal favorite style of frog is the popping frog, because it gives you that nice action without the tail getting in the way of sprinkler frogs. That's it for this episode of Angler Advice. Catch you next time.
Alright guys, now let's check out Ben's show.
Let's check out the second episode of Tech Tips with Ben.
Welcome to the second episode of Tech Tips with Ben, and in this episode we'll be comparing the Apple Series 4 watch and the Galaxy Watch Active. In this episode we will be reviewing the newest Apple Watch Series 4 and the Galaxy Watch Active. The Galaxy Watch Active offers a 1.1 inch screen, while Apple's watch has a 1.57 inch display screen. But size is not everything. The Apple Watch 4 comes with Wi-Fi, GPS, and cellular data, whereas Samsung's Galaxy Watch Active only comes with Wi-Fi and GPS. Like the Apple Watch 4, the Galaxy Watch Active supports fitness monitoring. It covers more than 39 activities, including rowing, cycling, running, martial arts, walking, and many others. The Watch Active has been certified to be water resistant as well. The Apple Watch is also water resistant, so either device lets you go swimming and build up a sweat without worry. You can charge your Galaxy Watch Active wirelessly, as you cannot do that with the Series 4 Apple Watch, which is surprising, but I'm sure that is coming in the near future. Now for the pricing. For one Galaxy Watch Active, the cost runs about $200. The new Series 4 Apple Watch price is about $400. The Series 4 watch is more pricey, but in my opinion, the display screen has a nicer finish and look to it than the Galaxy Watch Active. Which one is better? You decide. Thanks for tuning in to the second episode of Tech Tips with Ben. Hope you enjoyed.
Next up, we have Nino with the good news.
I, Mr. Balboni, am good news.
Sup AHS, it's Ian with the good news again. Today we're going to start with something going on in Africa. Several African nations are working to build a huge wall of trees around its continent. In the US, a blind, self-taught 7-year-old pianist is getting attention. In other good news, it seems Massachusetts citizens aren't stressed.
That was good. Now, let's interview some AHS students about good news going on in their lives.
I was reading through my social media feed that scientists have begun to find evidence that brain cells can keep growing.
Docs are going to win a second World Series this year. So yeah, we got that going.
It's my birthday. Boys volleyball, JV, and varsity won against Westside last night, so woo.
It's Friday! Enjoy the weekend, everyone! Now that's good news.
That's my Italian quiz.
Good stuff today. It's Friday. You know what that means. Grades are closing. Getting all these F's up to A's. Do that back to back to back to back, and you're going to college. You're going to get a good degree. You're going to get a good job. You're going to stay hydrated. And you're going to live your life the way you want to.
Next up is Tristan with Did You Know?
Thank you for that, Nino. And now welcome back to Did You Know, where I talk about random things. Now, today, we're looking at the term science fiction, some of its history, and some of the interesting players and characters that have been introduced with it. Let's take a look.
The earliest use of the term science fiction, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, dates back to 1851. However, back then, it was used for a poem or fiction writing interweaving with science fact. After that, the first use of science fiction was used to categorize futuristic writing in 1927. The abbreviation sci-fi was then introduced back in 1954, analogous to hi-fi. The annual awards as well for World Science Fiction Convention are called the Hugos, named after Hugo Gernsback, the founder of Amazing Stories in 1926. Speaking of Gernsback, he didn't actually call his work science fiction, instead he called it scientifiction. According to Vladimir Nabokov, The Tempest by Shakespeare is also reportedly a science fiction writing. The film AI by Steven Spielberg was based off of Brian Aldiss and his book Super Toys Last All Summer Long. Also, the first popular sci-fi hero was actually Mandrake the Magician back in 1954. Superman wouldn't arrive for another 4 years. And lastly, there's a hotline for filmmakers to be able to contact an educated scientist to make sure they put accurate science into their science fiction movies.
That's all the time we have today. You can check us out on Channel 12 to watch our episode and other episodes like it. You can also check us out online. We have a link at the AHS homepage for our YouTube channel where you can check out this episode, other episodes of the series, and other episodes that we do that are part of different series. Have a great day.